Welcome back to Visual Nova. In today's video, we are going to create this cinematic 3D camera animation inside DaVinci Resolve Fusion. We will use simple PNG images, convert them into a 3D scene, and add camera movement to create a cinematic parallax effect. So here I have already loaded a few PNGs into the media pool that we are going to use in our 3D video. Now right-click inside the media pool and create a new Fusion composition. I will name this composition 3D Camera Animation. By default, the duration is set to 5 seconds, but I will change it to 20 seconds because we are going to do camera tracking, and with a longer duration it becomes much easier to work. Now click Create. After that, drag the Fusion composition from the media pool onto the edit timeline. Now we can move into the Fusion page. Here you can see that we only have one node, which is the Media Out node. To create a proper 3D setup, first we need a Camera 3D node, then a Renderer 3D node, and lastly a Merge 3D node. Now connect the Renderer 3D node to the Media Out node. After that, connect the Merge 3D node to the Renderer 3D node, and finally connect the Camera 3D node to the Merge 3D node like this. So now our basic 3D setup is ready, and with this setup we can convert any 2D image into a 3D scene. Now drag the ground PNG from the media pool. Connect an Image Plane 3D node with it, and then connect that Image Plane 3D node into the Merge 3D node like this. Now open the Merge 3D node in the second viewer window. From here, whenever we work in 3D space, we will be able to see everything inside the viewer on the right side. To see the X, Y, and Z perspective of the 3D camera, press Alt and hold the mouse scroll button, then move the mouse around. This will let you see the full 360-degree perspective of your scene. Now grab the Z-axis and move the camera backward. This will help us see the scale of the image inside the right viewer window. I will keep it around here so the image stays properly inside the frame and does not go outside the window. Now drag the second image into Fusion. Again, connect an Image Plane 3D node with it, and then connect that Image Plane 3D node into the Merge 3D node. Now go to the Transform controls on the right side, and set the Z-axis value to 0.1. Then scale the image according to your frame size. After that, use the Y-axis to move it slightly upward. Just enough so the lower part of the image does not get cut off. Now I will drag a thunderstorm video from the media pool and connect it in the same way as the previous images. This thunderstorm video will work as the background of our scene. Go into the Transform controls and again set the Z-axis value to 0.1. Now we need to place it behind the ground image because this video will be used as the background environment of the scene. So make sure to position it properly. Now increase its scale from the right side. I am going to keep the scale a little larger because later we will do camera movement, and I do not want any empty areas or problems to appear during the camera animation. So now I have properly adjusted both the scale and position of the background video. Lastly, drag the Sportsman PNG into Fusion and connect it to the 3D setup exactly the same way as we connected the previous objects. Select its Image Plane 3D node, go to the Transform section, and set the Z-axis value to 0.1. Now place this image at the very front of the scene somewhere around here. Then go into the scale settings and I will keep the value around 0.372. Now I will place it right at the beginning of the scene around here. Next, select the Image Plane 3D node of the ground image, and from the right side increase its scale a little more like this. Then move it slightly toward the left side using the X-axis. So now we have connected all the PNGs together and created a complete rough scene. Now in the next step, we are going to match the colors of all these PNGs so there is no color jump between any of the elements. Now select the Media In node of the ground PNG. Press Ctrl plus Shift plus Spacebar and search for color correction. Add that node. Now from the right side, decrease the saturation value. I will keep it at 0. Then move down to the brightness controls and decrease the brightness a little. Now copy this color correction node, paste it here and connect it with the second image. For this image I will keep the brightness at 0. The saturation is already set to 0 so we can leave it like that. Now once again copy the same color correction node, paste it and connect it with the Thunder video. For the Thunder video I will increase the brightness a little. The saturation is already low, but I do not want to make the Thunder video completely black and white because it is important that we can still see the thunder clearly in the background. So I will increase the saturation slightly to keep a little bit of color in it. Lastly, we will give the Sportsman PNG the same black and white look as the other images. Now I will slightly adjust the position of the Thunder video and push it a little toward the left side. there is one more small problem here. You can see that the ground image still looks slightly brighter than the other objects, so it feels a little separate from the rest of the scene. To fix that, I will select the color correction node of the ground image and decrease the brightness a little more. Now it looks much better. Now we can move on to the camera tracking part. Select the camera 3D node and place the playhead right at the beginning of the timeline. You can also adjust your viewer window a little so the camera movement is easier to understand. Now use the Z-axis to move the camera closer toward the thunder sky. The reason for this is that we want to start close to the thunder and then slowly zoom out to reveal the full environment, which will give the scene a more cinematic feeling. So I will place the camera around here. Now keep the playhead at frame 0. Inside the inspector, go to the transform section and add keyframes to the X, Y, and Z axis. After that, move the playhead to frame 100. Now use the Z axis and push the camera backward like this. I will keep it around here because if we push it too far back, the background video may start causing. Now move the playhead to frame 200. This time move the camera slightly downward like this. At this point, our character starts entering the frame, so I will keep the camera around here. Now move the playhead to frame 380 and once again push the camera backward a little more. At this stage, our wall is almost ending, so I will stop around here. Now move the playhead to the very last keyframe. From here, move the camera downward again like this. I will keep it around here. Now let's smooth out the camera movement. Go into the spline editor. Enable the camera axis controls, then click Fit to Zoom. Select all of the keyframes and press S on the keyboard. This will smooth the camera animation and make the movement feel much more natural. Before I preview the animation, go up into the playback menu. From there, go into proxy handling and select Prefer Proxies. This option helps the system run more smoothly and prevents lag while previewing the video. You can see that we have a very nice parallax style camera movement, and our 3D camera animation is almost ready. To make the video feel even more cinematic, I'm going to add some text. For that, I will take a text node and connect it with the renderer 3D node like this. Now select the text node, go into the text box, type your text. Here I will write "Beneath the Storm." Now choose a font. For this text, I will use Bebas Neue and keep it on regular. Then increase the text size. You can choose any font and text size according to your own video style. I am just using these settings based on the look of my scene. Now move the playhead to frame 20 because this is where the first thunder appears on screen, and the text will look much better when it appears at that moment. Now set the right on amount to 0 and add a keyframe. After that, move the playhead to frame 40 and set the right on amount to maximum. Now move the playhead to frame 60 and add another keyframe on right on. Then move the playhead to frame 70 and bring the right on amount back to 0. In the same way, we need to add 5 more text lines according to the timing of the video, and apply the same right on animation to each one. I will fast forward this part a little because the process is exactly the same, and I do not want the tutorial to feel repetitive. So now I have placed and animated all of the text. Next, go back to the timeline. And now I will play the final preview for you. You can see that our 3D cinematic camera parallax tracking video is now complete. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you. If you need these assets, then let me know in the comments and I will add them in the description. If you enjoyed the video, then do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next video.